So note-taking is a super important thing for high school and college, and there are a bunch of different ways to do it, but my favorite is the tried and true outlining method. My freshman year of high school, I took an honors history class, and it was kind of the precursor to a couple of really hard history classes that sophomores and juniors took. The freshman teacher, knowing this, prepared all of us by teaching us how to take great notes. It was easily the main focus of the entire year, and every single chapter we had to hand out extremely detailed notes. And while at the time I thought this was super annoying because, well, it kind of forced me to actually read stuff, in the end, it wound up being really useful. She had really strict rules, and she made sure everybody conformed to the outlining method in the beginning, but as time went on, she let kids loosen up to allow for their own note-taking styles to take form. For me, that was in typing. I personally love typing compared to writing, but I know all the statistics that are like, you should write your notes if you can. I don't know, it's just totally impractical for me when the computer is sitting right in front of me, and in the end of the day, we're in the 21st century, and if typing on a keyboard doesn't become in the human brain what writing is at some point eventually, then we're all screwed, because writing is going the way of the dinosaur. I don't know. Anyways, this high school teacher helped me out a lot because I used that outlining method in not only history textbooks, but also science classes, English classes, planning essays, planning these YouTube videos, and really anything that I do where I need to organize information. But I think the easiest way to teach this is in textbooks the way my history teacher did. This is because textbooks are, in a way, already outlined information. So once you learn how to bring the outlined information in a textbook to the simpler form in your notes, then you can understand the process of putting your information in your brain onto paper with the same kind of outline that the textbook has, and then taking notes off of that. So how did she teach me to outline in a textbook? My name is Bianchi, this is Define Wisdom. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All of that stuff helps out the channel a ton. And comment down below any useful tips or tricks that you have for high school that teachers taught you or you learned somewhere else. So textbooks are generally broken up into a few different segments. The biggest one, of course, being the chapter. For me, I find the best way to do this is to have the chapter be the entire page or the entire document that you're working on in Google Drive. So let's show the basics of outlining here. You're gonna have different indentations of stuff. Whether you want it to be letters or numbers or Roman numerals, doesn't matter. The basic function of indents organizing subsections of different topics until you get further and further down into the note itself. So in textbooks, the way this works is the chapter might be like the entire page. You don't really need to start with the chapter and then indent, because then your entire page is just going to be one extra indent for no real reason. So either name the document after your chapter or put the chapter name at the top of the page. So what you should have now is the chapter being the whole of the page, your subtitles outlined down the side, and indented from your subtitles the different topics that make up the subtitles that make up the chapters. The way this is going to work is when you know and you're looking for a piece of information, you can just follow down, okay, it was in this chapter, it has to do with this subtitle, in this subtopic, and there are my notes about that thing. That way, when you're looking for a specific piece of information, you get to really narrow down when you're looking, as opposed to taking, willy-nilly notes. Off of those topics, what I often do is personal divisions. So if a topic is a few paragraphs or a few pages long, then I will personally divide it into whatever sections I think make sense. So further breaking it down into whatever your brain is going to understand, and then off of that, indenting once more into your notes. This isn't always going to work this way. Different textbooks are going to have different lengths of topics. Sometimes you might not need to personally divide stuff up, or sometimes the textbook does it for you, or sometimes you want to throw vocab words somewhere in there that makes sense for you. This is a really malleable method, so figure out what works and then do it. When I first learned this method, my teacher wanted me to distill everything down into less than a sentence notes, and for me that's a little bit much. But I can understand why it would be useful. Every single bit of information at that point is entirely digestible, and by writing that down, that means that not only did you understand the different bits of the topic, but now it's going to be easy to go back and look at it. For me, I often found that, yeah, around a sentence, a couple of lines maybe for the notes works, but I also have obnoxiously enormous handwriting, so that could have played a factor. That's really all that the outlining method is. You got the Cornell method and a few other ways to take notes, and you can research those on Google, but to me, this is the easiest. And it applies super easily to lectures too, especially ones with PowerPoint. The PowerPoint often, the lecture will be the chapter title, and then the PowerPoint, the different slides will be the subtitles, and then whatever the slide says will further divide stuff, and then you can take your notes off of what the teacher says. Now, this only works if your teacher uses a PowerPoint and your teacher knows how to use a PowerPoint and actually talks about what's on the slides instead of just, freehanding it and kind of just having the PowerPoint as filler in the background. But if your teacher is just lecturing, then you can generally pick up a thought process in there and do different outlines. For lectures, I especially prefer computers because say you outlined everything in a paper and then you realize that where the lecture is going might want you to change up the way that you had things outlined. Well, it's a massive pain in the ass. You got to rewrite everything on paper, but if you're typing it, it's no big deal at all, and it's really quick. Not to mention the fact that you can type without looking at the keyboard, and it's going to be super easy to just Control F into your document and find different subtitles, and it's easy to share, and it's on your phone and on your laptop and on your computer at home, and there's no risk of it just getting coffee spilt on it. I don't know. I love online notes. The internet is here for a reason. But every teacher ever is going to disagree with me on that. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I know it was a little bit shorter. Just wanted to kind of outline this note-taking method for you here. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys get that summer work done. I know you just got handed textbooks, and you're like, shit, I don't want to do this, but trust me, do your summer work now so you don't have to worry about this later. And that is the most hypocritical thing I could ever say because I always saved all of my summer work until the last couple days. And to an impressively small margin. I never said I was a good student. I just have, tricks of the trade that let me get pretty decent grades with very little effort.